yeah, so when he said something that it was definitely a spade, it was a spade. It wasn't a fucking shovel, and it certainly wasn't edge clippers. It was a spade. And he's one of those guys. So anyway, back to the shoveling of the champagne ham and the white bread rolls. He turns around in front of my whole family. So there's about 16, 17 of us there, maybe a little bit more. Can't quite remember exactly. He turned around and no word of a lie, these exact words, and turned around and said to me, looked down the table, made sure I was looking at him. I was kind of like, and he turned around and he said, you look fucking disgusting. And I went, me? I remember thinking, did he say that? Maybe he didn't. I'll just keep going. And then he said, I can't even recognise you. What have you been doing? Like, I can't even see my grandson. You don't even look like you used to look. What have you been doing? And I remember thinking, I really like it right now if the ground just kind of opened up and just sucked me in there because this is really awkward. And I remember just thinking, oh my God. I didn't know what to say, didn't have a comeback. It was one of those, I knew he had said it, he had meant it, he wasn't joking. I knew every single word that he said was intentional. And I remember thinking, okay, come on, okay, just keep your shit together. Right. So I hopped up, started grabbing all the plates and cups and started clearing the table, snuck off out the back into the kitchen, started washing up, and it had completely and utterly rattled me. It had a dozen beers as well, so that kind of kicked in. So I'm washing the dishes. Anyway, the old stepmom comes in the kitchen, the old brother, the smaller, the back there, just the lower back. I'm like, just ignore it. It's all right. It's all right. He's had a couple of beers. He doesn't really mean it. You know, he's just kind of one of those ones. Whereas I knew without a shadow of doubt, he meant every single word. And maybe it was something that I needed to hear right then. Probably was. And I don't know, has anybody here read Tim Ferriss's book? I think it's the 4-Hour Workweek or the 4-Hour Body. I get confused which one it was. You guys read it? Just hand it nice and high. If you have, yep, so a few people have. Now, Tim Ferriss talks in there about, just before I go on to that actually, I'll just give you one more thing about my grandfather. Just one more thing quickly. Has anybody here done the Rotorua Marathon or the Fletcher Marathon? Is there any people that have done that here? No? That's cool. In my hometown, they had the Rotorua Marathon. This is the start of it here. Now, it is unofficially the most difficult marathon in the Southern Hemisphere. And I'll tell you why. At about the 28 kilometre mark, there is a set of hills that goes for about 6 kilometres. And it just climbs and climbs and climbs. And some of it is almost a 45-degree angle. And this is a true story. They actually park ambulances at the top of this 6 kilometre climb. It's called the Hamarana Mountains or Hamarana Hills. And people pretty much come up the hill and then into the back of an ambulance with the door wide open. So it's a bit like that. Now my grandfather did it at 75 years of age. And back then it actually wasn't that cool to do that type of shit when you're old. But he did it at 75 and it took him just over 8 hours. He made our local paper back home for his achievements and it was pretty damn cool. It was awesome. And that's the type of guy that he was. But anyway, back to Tim Ferriss's book. In Tim Ferriss's book, he talks about a Harajuku moment. Okay? And it's a Japanese term. And a Harajuku moment is an absolute pivotal changing point in your life. Write it down. It's a really, really cool thing. Now, how do I spell it? I've spelled it for you. H-A-R-A-J-U-K-U. Right?
Just phonetics.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome, Tracy. It's a Harajuku moment. Now, it's a positive change and it's something that happens instantly in your life. Is never, ever, ever the same. It's pretty much literally like you're driving your car. Can I go left? Can I go right? At the last minute, you're kind of like, you're heading left, you're kind of, I'm going to go right. And the change is completely different. So for me, that was my Harajuku moment. That was, that person that I put on this massive pedestal and as a mentor and as somebody that I love so much with all my heart. That was my Harajuku moment. I thought to myself, my life will never ever be the same. Now there's another individual here that identifies what their Harajuku moment was and their life-changing situation or life-changing time. Is this man here, Mr. Bruce Campbell. This is him at the Fink Desert Race. How many of you guys know the story about Bruce and his efforts at Fink? This incredible man, and how Bruce speaks about my running accolades, I think the same about the desert race. He broke ribs, vertebrae in his spine with a crash right at the start of the race. Now, he had a couple of options there. He could have done what 99.99999% of us would have done, and I know for without a shadow of doubt that I would have done. That would have been the end of it for me. With family saying to you, you know, that's it. Doctors are like, that's it, you're done. And he made a decision. He made a decision to continue, regardless of the circumstance. And that is a life-changing moment. Now, I had the absolute privilege of speaking to him on the phone after he had finished, which was awesome. And we were saying in the board the other day, Bruce and I had actually never had a phone call conversation ever. We always do the whole Voxer thing, just leave a little voice message, catch it up when you can. But we had a phone call that night, and that was a really beautiful memory. So for Bruce Campbell, that was his Harajuku moment, and on a lovely, what would you call it, portrait, photos, even the mask that he wore on that race, he wrote it on the back. That was his Harajuku moment. So even for yourselves, some of you may not have had that moment yet or experienced that moment, or some of you may have. I'm not too sure. Only you can answer that. But that was a pretty powerful moment for me. And anyway, when I woke up in the... Can we give Bruce a round of applause? Yeah. Just before I start talking about myself again. So when I went to bed that night, I remember saying to myself as I was lying in bed, when I get up in the morning, that is it, man, it is all on. And I remember thinking to myself, it was like doing my ship's divers selection course in the Navy. It was like, I felt like I had almost had my cage rattled so much that I'd gone back there, my mindset. And I kind of thought, when I get up in the morning, come fucking hell or high water, I'm going for a run. I'm back on the wagon. I hadn't done any exercise for 9 months, which was pretty big for me. So I was like, that's it, man, 5K run. That 5K run probably took me about 7.5 hours. I got up and I did it. And since that day, in 2009, I ran from Cairns to Townsville. Anybody from Cairns here? Townsville? No? Oh, jeez, there's Cairns on there. Yeah, awesome. Cool. So I ran from Cairns to Townsville, which was 320 kilometres, and I did it in 2.5 days. Has anybody done that drive before? There's a range there called the Cardwell Range. You guys know that one? Big old hill, and most of the trucks back up and they wait to go up this hill. It's like you take a turn and up they go, and it takes ages because it's so steep. So I ran up that Cardwell Range in a frilly pink G-string and a pink bra and a wig and drag to raise a bit more dollars. The truck drivers thought it was fucking incredible. Woo! That kind of stuff. Yeah, but we raised about 10 grand for the Alzheimer's research part of the Rotary Association. Then, where are we? Then in 2010, I went back home and I ran from Auckland to Wellington. And what I did was I grabbed a group of professional golfers from the New Zealand Institute of Golf and some of the staff, plus Lisa Tamati, who's the lady down there in the middle of the newspaper article, and we ran from Auckland to Wellington to Parliament House. That was about 900 kilometres. 890 or something like that. And that took about 7 days. So that's a whole 2 marathons a day type thing for 7 days, or close to that. That's sort of been a while now, so I kind of forget. That was in 2010. In 2011, I took a group of sort of unknowns. There was a powerboat champion, and we had a New Zealand freediving champion, and we ran the other way. Oh, actually, we had a celebrity as well. You guys ever see that documentary about NXS? Did you guys see that? It was on TV a while ago. It was a couple years. So Edu Drake played the drummer, and we took him, and he came for a run as well. So taught these guys how to run long distance and get amongst it. We ran from Wellington to Auckland, but we went around the coast. Got a bit of the scenery. Now, it was a little bit longer, but it was more picturesque. The scenery didn't do anything for the sore legs, nothing whatsoever. But that was in 2011, and again, we were raising money for charity, and we did a really good job. We were about 10 grand, it was awesome.
2012, this is while I was working for Shane Cameron. That's Shane there down the bottom before he prepared for his world title fight at Cruiserweight against Danny Green in Melbourne, which we lost, but it was a good fight, it was a great fight. And while Shane was getting prepped, ready for go time, I ran the length of our South Island in New Zealand, like the whole Lord of the Rings thing. It was awesome, it was really cool. Anybody been to Bluff?
Yes.
That's the bottom of the South Island. Yeah. Any feedback about Bluff, James?
Big oysters.
Yeah.
Big oysters? That was very diplomatic, but that's a good answer. So we went and up through to Picton. It was incredible. Now, this has been my toughest run to date, physically. It rained like good old-fashioned South Island rain for like 3 or 4 days non-stop. Like, and I'm talking no reprieve. Like a couple of cool stories about this particular run, but I'll see if I can get one of them done anyway. So the water's hitting me head on, just brutal the whole time. Poor me, by the way. And got some gnarly blisters. Like blisters, I can't even begin to explain how bad these blisters were. So bad that one of them was so big it almost looked like a tennis ball out the side of my foot, and everybody probably goes, oh, whatever, a tennis ball, it's probably like a fun golf ball. It was a tennis ball. I had to cut the side of my shoe out so my sock and my blister could stick out the side. Oh, that's all right. And then it got worse. The blister and all the carnage and the infection got worse. I had to take the shoe off, run in a sock. So that foot was on the grassy side of the road. That one with the shoe on was on the camber of the road. Yeah, it just gets worse. I hate Johnny Cash now, by the way. I love Johnny Cash's music. I'll tell the story really quick. Got up in the morning and it was just, again, pelting with rain. So we're going back a few years. Phones weren't so reliable. I wrapped it in a sandwich wrap sort of thing, then plastic bag over the top, headphones in, hoodie on, beanie on. The rain was so heavy that once I got out on this highway, and near Dunedin, by the way, Tracy. Yeah. Once I got out on this highway, there's no changing. You can't stop and take your phone out and scroll, change the music on Spotify, of which I don't think Spotify even existed then. Anyway, so I put on a playlist. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, shuffle, awesome. I got half a day's worth of music, and I go out and brave the elements. Out I go, listening to my tunes, running around. And for after about an hour and a half, I'm like, there's heaps of Johnny Cash going on. And there's only so much Man in Black you can tolerate. And after about 3 hours, I'm like, yeah, this is getting along in the tune. And you know, some of his music's like pretty hectic. You want to just, have a warm bath and go to sleep type stuff. Anyway, I had only pushed shuffle on one Johnny Cash. So I listened to that for like half the day as I ran. That was incredible. So I'm scarred for life. Now, in 2013, I went to the UK. And I ran from Gretna Green, which was the England-Scotland border, all the way to the top to John O'Groats. And I did it with a 10-kilo backpack. I had to carry on the ship, didn't have a support crew then, so I had to do it all on my own. That is the main motorway. I think it's the A1 or the M1, I can't remember. And that was actually the first time I ever fell asleep running. Yeah, true story. So it took 6 days, same thing, a couple of marathons a day. It was only about 700 kilometres, something like that. But the cool thing was, well, no, it wasn't cool at all. I actually got real shitty when I woke up in a bush. It was covered in scratches, head first. But I was running towards the oncoming traffic, which is the safest way if you're out on the highway, because you can see what's going to hit you, or you can see people like. You can see the car swerving in your lane. You can't see them if you're behind you. So anyway, so I ran there, I fell asleep. I don't remember it, I obviously just remember waking up in a bush covered in scratches, but I fell asleep and I drifted off to the right, into a tree. Had I fallen asleep and drifted off to the left, I would have gone into the oncoming traffic. So that was good. Now I just want to share that with you. I'm pumped about it anyway. Now, in 2014, I got sick of running. Now, there's some people in the room that know exactly what I was doing in 2014, and some of you that don't. Now, I had a crack with 2 of my friends at a world record, at a Guinness World Book of Records. I thought I'd do something different for charity. This particular year, we raised $5,000 for the Black Dog Institute for mental illness, and we had a crack at a world record. Can anybody guess what it is?